Now, a quick check-in for weather with meteorologist Vivian Rennie, as obviously the main story today is how Hurricane Milton has impacted the state of Florida.
Absolutely. And now that is really where we're turning our focus on those impacts after the storm, because the storm is basically done as it has continued to pass over Florida in the overnight hours. Now it's making its way out into the Atlantic. So here's a little time lapse that I put together of the storm over the last 24 hours. It's been an impactful 24 hours over the state of Florida. I've also added in all those watches, warnings, and advisories to this as well, so you can kind of see what's going on. So we started off with a significant severe weather outbreak. Over 20 concurrent tornadoes were in place, at least at one point or another. Many more than that of those warnings issued throughout the length of the storm continue to pass over at the peninsula, making its way through significant areas of flooding, lots of severe other significant winds, and that storm surge as well. This continued to make its way through. Now at this point, it is making its way out into the Atlantic, and that's where it's going to be staying for the next couple of days. Now, we are still seeing a couple of those alerts, watches, and warnings along those most eastern portions of the state. Also, significant areas of flooding alerts still in place this morning. Now it's time to really start turning to the recovery efforts for those communities. Now, this storm made it to a Category 5 when it was out in the Gulf, made landfall last night as a Category 3. Right now, Category 1 status is being maintained, about 85-mile-an-hour maximum sustained winds. It's just going to push farther and farther towards the east, likely to bring a couple impacts to areas including Bermuda, mainly with some of those waves associated with this storm, but it's going to push far away from the continental U.S. So the good news is we're not really going to be seeing any more concerns with Milton over the next couple days. Now it's really time to look at those continued concerns, especially with significant flooding. Each and every one of these boxes in that green is an active flood warning where significant flooding is currently going on. So there's a lot still happening in those communities, something to be aware of. Looking at the rest of the country, we do have a significant freeze watch in place for portions of the Northeast. That's just another story that we've got going on nationally weather-wise. It's important to look at those because there's not really a lot going on across the West Coast. The good news is, though, we're going to be seeing comfortable conditions through the next few days, no major concerns. Visibilities this morning are the most concerning portion. We do have limited visibilities from San Luis Obispo through the 5 cities, Santa Maria, even into the San Ynez Valley this morning. Just something to be aware of, some limited visibilities there. We also have an incident on the roadways just north of Buellton on 101 in those northbound lanes, where that is causing some concerns as well. Temperatures as you head out the door in those mid-50s, not too bad across the Central Coast. Continue to see comfortable conditions this morning. Still warmer than normal for this time of the year, though, in those afternoon hours. 92 degrees in Paso Robles, still about 10 degrees above normal. 80 in San Luis Obispo, 76 in Santa Maria, 77 in Lompoc, and 71 degrees in Santa Barbara for today. Cayucos at 64 and 92 in San Miguel, in the 70s in Avila Beach for today. Napomo at 74, 62 in Pismo Beach, and 90 in both Shandon and California Valley. Our South Coast communities in the 70s, 73 in Goleta, 86 in San Ynez, and 89 degrees in the Cuyama Valley. We'll continue this cooling trend day after day, mid-80s by Saturday and Sunday, right around normal as we head into early next week. 70s in San Luis Obispo, getting into the 60s for Santa Maria and Santa Barbara, staying very much comfortable. By Wednesday of next week, though, things are going to slightly change as the storm system makes its way to Northern California. Not really going to impact us too much, but it'll keep our temperatures on the cooler side. Dylan, back to you.